Arrogance kills a business. I said that out loud about a year ago, and then I began to actually live it. You see, last year I read a book about sales in the home improvement industry, and I had what I call an entrepreneurial seizure. I said to myself, this is something we have to do, and we have to do it right now. And then I spent the next 9 months forcing it on my sales team and calling it bold leadership. So, for those who don't know me, I run two businesses. One is Kitchen and Bath Crate, a residential remodeling company. And about 2 years ago, we launched a newer, smaller product, a miniature version of one of our flagship products. Lower price point, built around a monthly payment instead of a lump sum. It was a different customer, a different product, a different way of selling. And that's the product line that this very story is about. You see, I read the book. I loved the book. And I was convinced that this book was the guideline that we needed to follow for selling this new product. Then I went into bold leadership mode. I told Jake, who runs Kitchen and Bath Crate, this is the direction that we're going. I told the sales team the same thing, a bold declaration, no discussion, this is the way we're gonna do it, and I went to work. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that I spent hundreds of hours on this new model, a new spreadsheet, a new sales presentation, new leave behinds. The whole system was different, it was new, and it was what I thought was a brilliant approach. So I built the whole thing out, we rolled it out, and the numbers didn't move. In fact, they declined. And the team, they were absolutely running the playbook. They just didn't love it, and they actually didn't trust it. And so for a few weeks, I told myself they just need some time. They need to marinate in this. They need to learn this new approach, this brilliant new approach. And those weeks, they turned into months, and those months into a quarter, and that quarter into multiple quarters. Same results. And you know what I was doing the whole time? I was holding the line. I was defending the strategy. I was telling myself that the team, they just needed to commit. But what I was actually doing is I was forcing it. And I was calling it bold leadership. So 9 months later, Jake comes to me and he was speaking for the sales team. And he looked at me straight in the eye and he said, Scott, we just don't really believe in this method. And he had reasons. He had specific, valid, proven in the field reasons. And I did not know about these reasons because I had stopped listening. So in that moment, I had two very distinct options. I could keep defending the strategy, keep pressing forward, keep forcing this down on my sales team, or I could admit I was wrong and pull back. I decided to pull back, but here's what it cost. 9 months of underperformance on a new product line that should have been one of our biggest drivers of growth. Real money, money that was not coming back. And this is the kind of mistake that shows up on your year-end numbers. You have to pull out the red pen, you have to circle it, and you have to say, that's on me. And this is the part I want to talk about, because there's a lesson to be learned here. And it's not the one that you think it is. It's not the cliché, you have to listen to your people, because you do. The real takeaway is, what do you do after you make the wrong call as a leader? Most business owners I know, when they make a mistake, their first instinct is to pull back, to protect the decision. Not because they think they're right anymore, but because they think admitting a mistake is weakness. It feels like admitting to the team that the boss doesn't have it all figured out, even though they already know that. So they let the bad decision live for months and sometimes even for years, watching the costs of their mistake compound because the pain of admitting they're wrong is greater than the financial burden of their bad decision. And that's exactly what I did for 9 months. But I liked to dress it up as this word conviction. I was convinced that this was the way we needed to go. I was convinced that I was right. I was convinced that this was a new way we needed to do business. But I don't think that was bold leadership on my part. Quite frankly, I think I was just being stubborn. And here's the real difference between the two. Bold leadership is willing to be wrong in public, and stubbornness isn't. What I believe now is reversing a public mistake in front of your people is one of the boldest leadership decisions that you can make. It's not the weakest, it's actually the strongest. Because here's what your team actually sees when you admit to your mistake. They don't see weakness. They see a leader that cares more about being right in the end than looking right in the moment. They also see that when they raise their hand and tell you the truth of your mistake, that you're actually going to listen. They also see that the next time you make a bold declaration and make a bold decision, you might be worth listening to because they're confident that if you're wrong and they bring it to your attention, that you'll reverse course. That, my friends, is authenticity. And authenticity is a completely underutilized soft skill in leadership. It's the foundation upon which all the trust is generated. It's the foundation upon which everything else rests. So this quarter, I have a goal to rebuild this exact same sales process. But this time I started differently. I started by sitting down with the sales team and asking them, what's working? What's not working? What are you seeing in the market? What do you need from me? What do we need to change or pivot about this concept? And the whole thing has been much smoother. The entire team is bought in. It's the same destination, but a completely different road. And the difference is who's driving the conversation. Is it me and my ego, or is it my team and what they need? So here's my question for you. Have you ever made a call that's not working, but you've held the line way too long? How long did it take for you to reverse it? Tell me in the comments. I would absolutely love to hear your feedback. I write about concepts like this every week in my Substack newsletter called The War on Mediocre Business. I'll go ahead and link that up in the description of this video or in the first comment, depending on where you watch it. I hope you got great value out of this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.